What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Got some breaking news. The Oakland Raiders, as it turns out, will not suspend Antonio Brown. They were planning to suspend Antonio Brown when he had that altercation with the general manager, Mike Maycott. But early this morning, at a team meeting with the team captain standing next to him, Antonio Brown gave an emotional apology in front of the team. And one source from that meeting said that he's back in good graces with the team and he's family, basically, as well. One source said that was at the meeting. John Gruden came out in front of the media reporters during practice and said Antonio Brown will play Monday night against the Denver Broncos. That'll be the second game of a doubleheader on Monday night, so he will play. So it was looking bleak for Antonio. Looked like this thing might end up going to court. Looked like he might get suspended, and the contract was going to get voided out, and he would have to go to the players' union lawyers, and they would probably try to fight for some of his money back. But it's not going that route. He's going to play against the Oakland Raiders. He probably had a lot of thought going on when he left the facility yesterday. A lot of deep thought, and I guess he came to the conclusion. Had a lot, he probably had some people in his ear, family in his ear, attorney in his ear, and they told him, "Hey, man, you got to go back and apologize. This could be your last chance, man. The last stand here. You get released from this team, probably nobody in the NFL gonna want to touch you. So you need to go back and get in their good graces." And that's what he did. Now, only thing I have a problem with is that, he apologized, and I'm not going to say if it was real or fake, or it was heartfelt or not heartfelt. He apologized, and it takes a man to get up in front of people and admit to your mistakes. But will this give other players that feel that say, okay, he got into an altercation with the general manager, he come back and apologize, he get back in good graces with the team. Maybe if I go off on this coach or go off on somebody in the organization, or even the general manager, whoever, the higher ups in the organization, I go off on them and threaten to whoop them and, kick a punt a football and tell them to find that, or go off in that regard. And I get, and they tell me, okay, we're going to suspend you. And I just, basically go home and let off the steam and calm down and come back the next day and apologize, and I'll be able to get back into good graces like Antonio Brown. That's the only thing I kind of worry about in this situation. You let somebody get away with that, and that's basically what you're doing, even though I'm not saying if the apology was real or fake. Maybe I believe he might have felt like he needed to atone for his actions. I'm not saying that's the case or not the case, but I'm just saying you got to have a rule that every player follows. It's a situation, a code, rules that you got to follow, and there's certain things that you have to do, and there's certain consequences to your actions. Every team has that, and it should be the case with Antonio Brown. But when you're a big-time player and they're looking for you to turn their season around after coming off a bad season last year, the Oakland Raiders, they're looking for Antonio Brown to help in the passing game and to get the Oakland Raiders back to relevance of the past that they had. They've been down for a number of years. The last time they had a good team, I think it was actually 3 years ago, I think, when Derek Carr was there. And he got hurt at the end of the season, and they had to end up playing the third-string quarterback in a wild card game versus the Texans, and ended up losing in that wild card game. And ever since then, it's been losing season after losing season. And before that season, they were doing a lot of losing. So they haven't really had a lot of success since Rich Gannon was the quarterback. So we'll see. We'll see how it transpires. But again, Antonio Brown is back with the Oakland Raiders and will play Monday night against the Denver Broncos. And maybe and hopefully the Antonio Brown saga is officially over, but some tells me it's not over. Some tell me we're going to have some issues going on when the season going on. When he don't get his 10 catches a game in a particular game, he's going to lash out. He's going to go on his Instagram and post something that's going to have a lot of backlash and have a lot of people in uproar, that's associated with the team. So you always got to worry about that. He did that in Pittsburgh, and he's done that already in Oakland. And as y'all know, this all stemmed from the fine that they gave him for missing practice on the 18th and the missing practice on the 22nd of August. They fined him $53,950. He posted it on Instagram, the fine amount. That's something that was not wanted to be disclosed in the public. That's something that's supposed to be handled and kept behind closed doors, and he did not do that. So that's what led to the altercation with Mike Maycott Mayock, Mike Mayock, and where he threatened Mike Mayock and punted the ball and told him to find this, and they said he had to be restrained by Bursick, the linebacker formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals. And it got real ugly, a lot of people said. And then they said after the fact, the team came to Gruden, and I think Mayock told him, hey, whatever you decide to do as far as Antonio Brown is concerned, we back you 100%. So basically giving them the green light to hand down any disciplinary action that they feel that they deem necessary against Antonio Brown. So, but Antonio Brown, came back, like I said, the next day and gave a heartfelt apology in the team meeting. And he's back in good graces with the Oakland Raiders. So we'll see what happens. Antonio Brown's got to grow up. I told you in my last video he was going down that same path as Terrell Owens. And the thing about it, when Terrell Owens was doing it back in the day, I think players had longer leashes than they have now. With this social media and stuff that just get out, you punch a button, it gets out in less than 10 seconds, and it's out everywhere, and everybody sees your post. Things can spread like wildfire faster than they could back in the day. And that's why teams cut players off a little bit quicker, I think, now than they did back when Terrell Owens was playing, where he went from like team to team to team. He still was playing with Buffalo, and I think he even got worked out with Seattle in the preseason. He just didn't have the separation no longer to compete. But if he could have did it, I think he still would have held on playing in Seattle. And I think Terrell was around about 40 years old during that time. All his indiscretions and past problems with other teams, there still was another team out there willing to give him a chance. And I don't think that's the case nowadays. They're going to cut you off, man. Look at Dez Bryant. They cut him off. Problem child with the Cowboys. The Ravens was looking at him. He turned down a multi-year deal with the Ravens, and then he went to the Saints. And, he turned out a deal there. And he sat out the whole season, all of last season, until the Saints picked him up, for their playoff stretch run. They picked him up, and then he got hurt in practice. And he's out the league right now trying to rehabilitate his injury that he had. So he might not never come back. So it's just a lower tolerance of foolishness and outside distractions that team are pulling up with nowadays than they were, a few years back. So we'll see how it plays out, though. But again, that's what's going on. Antonio Brown is back in living color with the Oakland Raiders, and he'll play Monday night against the Denver Broncos and Joe Flacco, which should be interesting games of teams that are looking to come back strong this season after disappointing last seasons. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.